What's up guys, welcome to the channel. In today's video we're taking this $40 RC truck and we are putting in this Hobbywing Fusion, which costs around 3 times the price. I've got a feeling this video is going to be quite interesting. I'm really interested to see how it performs. You're probably really interested to see how quickly it breaks. Anyway, let's get in a bit closer and we'll talk a little bit more about how I'm going to do it. So this is a brand new B16 that I've bought. There's a link to the official store in the description. That's where I got this from. Kit version. There's quite a few different versions or stages of this. So the ready to run, like the V1, the version 1, I think up to like 3 or 4 now. Same with the kits. To guarantee you get the latest one, it is definitely advisable to buy direct from the store. I'm doing a little giveaway as such at the moment. If you click my referral link in the description to the store, if you make a purchase in the store anytime between now and the 27th of December, you'll be put in a prize draw after Christmas and you could get your full order refunded by me. So any money I make from the referral link, any commission, is going straight to charity. So it's not just me trying to get my commission up by getting you to click on that link. It's for a good cause and you can get your full order refunded. Anyways, I'll link to that in the description. So new build B16. I've never had a B16 before, so this is a first for me. I've left all the motor out, but it's all built up. Metal gears all round. The kit also comes with the latest motor and gearing and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely buy it from the store if you want the latest version. And then this is my Hobbywing Fusion. This was sent to me a little while ago. I'll leave a link to where that came from. Really, really good. I've had this in a couple of trucks now. I've sent it out to a few friends as well and they've tried it. Very good motor. It's a 540 cam, but it's 550 size because it's got the ESC on the back. So it's a 2-in-1 motor and ESC. And it's got very similar characteristics to the Hobbywing axe system. Really slow, really controlled. And that's why I'm hoping that we can use direct drive on this to the rear wheels. We're not having anything on the front wheels, they're just free to spin. So it's going to be a 6x4 and just the 4 rear wheels are going to be driven. And I think, I mean, I don't recommend direct drive all the time because it's a bit torquey for the axles, but I reckon with the control this has got, as long as we're relatively careful, I think we should be right. I've kept all the stock gearing, the stock plastic axles. You can get all full metal stuff for this, but I want to try it stock first. The only thing I've done different, I've added my metal link across there. It's just a little bit more adjustable to get a better steering angle on it. And I thought as these are going to be free running without a gear, I wanted at least a decent steering angle on it, or the best steering angle I could get anyway. I'm sure you're all wondering, how am I going to get this 550 size motor into that? Well, another good friend of mine who does all my 3D printing for me, I'll leave a link to their Facebook page and their YouTube channel, WCP, I think it's WCP Models and Crafts now, or RC Models and Crafts, but anyway, there's a link to them in the description. They have made me this 3D printed bracket that is going to slide over the motor there, onto the front there, and then it's got these little support brackets, the top one, and then obviously the bottom one will act as a skid plate as well, and then that has got the cutouts there to slot neatly into the chassis, and it's actually going to sit level in the middle, so it's going to be a nice, so it's going to be relatively low down. I think you'll have quite a bit of ground clearance. So that is how we're going to get this in here. I had 2 of the brackets made and I've got one painted up, so it looks a little bit nicer. And that is what we're going to do now. We're going to get that mounted in that. So the motor is going to sit neatly just, it's going to sit about there. So like I said, nice bit of clearance underneath, and also you've got that weight quite low down as well, so I think it's going to work well. There's already holes in the chassis I can use to line it up. The only issue with doing that, it's a bit shorter than these brackets, so I think I'm going to drill new holes in here so we can actually get the full bracket in. Some people like to measure them accurately, I like to just hit and hope. Usually I'm pretty good. Slide the bracket and the motor on. Then it's time to look at how we're getting it connected to the rear axles. I think it's just going to be a case of drilling out a metal drive shaft so it fits over the motor and then straight onto that bridge axle there. How cool does that look sat in there? Got a little bit of cutting to do, just got to cut this bit out. But it sits nicely, and with that bit cut out there's still loads of room in there because you've got quite a bit of room under there, so it's going to be good. Drive shaft angle is probably going to be a bit steeper than I wanted, but these drive shafts are pretty good, so I think we're probably going to be alright. If need be, I can go back. I've got probably another inch there or so I can go back, so that'll help with that drive shaft angle. But anyway, I'm going to cut this out, going to get the servo mounted in there, get all the steering sorted, and then we'll look at that drive shaft, and then I think we'll be ready to maybe plug it in and give it a quick test. So all finished. It's a bit muddy because I've already been out. I kind of was a little bit tight on time once I finished it to get it out and run it. So I've already been out to run it. Just going to quickly talk about what I had to do, then I'll show you the video, and then we'll come back and discuss how it went. So when I initially mounted the motor, it looked fine. Once I put the drive shaft on, the drive shaft, like the angle of that drive shaft was way too steep, and every time I tried it, it was just locking up completely, and the motor was shutting down. Motor's very good, very torquey. However, if it gets any resistance, it will shut down quite quickly. So that was what was happening. So I had to angle it down to get a better drive shaft angle. That did help. And we'll see the video in a minute, and you'll see that receiver sat in there, tiny little thing. That's for that's a R4F GM radio link one. It's got a little gyro in that. I didn't have it activated on here. And then a power button there. I had to cut out quite a bit on the back there, but it sits nicely. So it all sits nicely on there. The back sits on nice, so it actually does look completely stock. Really nice amount of ground clearance under there, and I think it looks really cool as well mounted in there. Right, let's go and look at the video, and then we'll be back and we'll have a quick talk about how it performed and what's next for it. Right, let's get going with this thing. I don't know how well it's going to do with just the 6x4. Sometimes you need a bit of traction on them front wheels to help it, but I've put a bit of weight in the back to try and get that traction on the rear wheels. We're going to give it a trail up here, and then we're going to head over to the mud just over there, see how we get on. We got a driver in there today as well, so let's get cracking. Look how slow this moves with that Hobbywing in there. Can you hear it? I know it's a bit windy, but see if you can hear it with that Hobbywing. It is silent. This is the first time I've tried it. I'm not sure how well it's going to go. It's definitely got some like low-end control, but the drive shaft angle, even though I've adjusted it, it's still causing it a few cogging issues, I think. Yeah, we need more work on this. I need to work on that drive shaft angle. It's not liking it. Although I don't think I've ever heard such a quiet RC car. Right, we've given up on the climbing. You just can't hear it. The noisiest thing's the servo, the steering servo. I mean, it was a fun idea. Has it really worked how I thought it would? Probably not.
I'll tell you one thing it's good for though, if you don't want to wake the kids up or disturb the neighbours, it definitely wins the battle for the most quiet. So because that drive shaft angle's pretty steep, it's just snagging a bit on startup, so it doesn't, the motor doesn't want to turn. But once you get going, it's lovely. Right, I've removed the weight, see if that helps it. It was definitely struggling a bit. Not that this motor's not got the torque, because it's got uber amounts of torque. I think it's just got a protection circuit on it that when it's under too much load, it won't go. As you can see now, it's quite happily spinning them wheels. Come on. This is where you need the front wheels turning. Just digging up the mud. Come on! Right, we're going to call this a fail. The front wheels are blocked up now with all the mud and stuff in them, and it's just not working. I think we need to make a few changes. I'm going to try and get it 6-wheel drive with maybe using a transfer case, and then I think we'll go from there. Anyway, cheers for watching. Sorry it's not been as exciting as it sounded at first. We'll continue this, and I'll see you next time.
So there you go, as you can see, well, it's fallen off now, as you can see, did have some issues with it locking up. Although the drive shaft angle's not really that steep, it's steep enough to just put too much strain on that motor, lock it up, and then it will shut down. And that's the protection of that motor. There's enough torque in that thing to rip this thing apart. I was only probably using 25% throttle on most of that. And yeah, it's a bit of a fail, but first attempt, you have to learn from your mistakes. So I think what we need to do now is try and get this motor back a little bit more. Get a transfer case just in here and try and get it so that it's 6-wheel drive. And I think if we can get it I think if I can get this running 6-wheel drive with this motor via a transfer case, it's definitely got the control for direct drive. All 6 wheels driving. This thing's going to be awesome. Anyway, that's it for this video. No speed run. I was going to hopefully do a speed run, but I think I need to sort a few bits out before we get it going fast. I don't want to trash it. Let's get a transfer case in it. Let's get it 6-wheel drive and then see how it gets on. Cheers for watching. I'll see you next time.